All right, welcome. Today we're diving into the entrepreneur's journey. And look, this isn't some secret club for a chosen few. It's a path from just one single idea all the way to making a real impact in the world. And it's a journey that literally anyone, and I mean you, can start. So let's get into it. You know that feeling, right? That little spark in your brain that just makes you go, huh, what if? That right there, that's the seed. That's where entrepreneurship begins. It's a nagging thought that sees a problem and just can't stop imagining a better way. So what do you do with an idea like that? Well, to really understand the journey, we first have to get to know the hero of the story, the entrepreneur. I mean, who is this person really? It's so much more than just a buzzword, so let's break down what it actually means. You know, the word itself actually gives us a huge clue. It comes from this French word entreprendre, which literally means to undertake. And at its very core, that tells us everything we need to know. Being an entrepreneur isn't just about dreaming up ideas. It's about undertaking the mission to make them real. What's really interesting, though, is that if you ask different experts, you get different answers. An economist will tell you it's someone who's great at mixing resources to create value. A psychologist will say, no, it's about a deep internal drive to achieve something. And a sociologist will focus on how their actions shape society. So as you can see, there's no single, simple definition. So let's boil it all down to what really matters. An entrepreneur is basically a visionary who not only sees what could be, but also has that hustle to go out and gather the people, the money, and the tools to actually build it. It's that simple but incredibly powerful combination of vision plus action. Okay, so you've got the vision. What's next? Well, you can't build a house without tools, right? Same thing here. So let's move on to the blueprint and check out the essential toolkit every entrepreneur needs to build their dream from the ground up. First up, you've got your personal tools. These are the qualities you bring to the table. It all starts with initiative, just the simple act of getting started. From there, you need a willingness to take smart risks, the self-confidence to believe in your idea, and the motivation to keep pushing when, trust me, things get tough. Then you have the practical tools, the actual things an entrepreneur does. Think of this like your roadmap. You spot an opportunity, you turn that fuzzy idea into a solid plan, you test if it's even possible, and then you go get your resources. Only then do you start to build, manage, and grow the whole thing. But out of all those functions on the list, this first one, it is the absolute game changer. A great entrepreneur is always watching, always listening. They sense a need, a gap in the market, a change in how people do things, and most importantly, they don't see a problem, they see a massive opportunity. Of course, no journey worth taking is ever a straight line, right? Knowing the path is one thing, but actually navigating the challenges that are going to pop up is something else entirely. So let's talk about the hurdles. And that's really the perfect way to think about it. Starting a business isn't a 100-meter dash, it is a hurdle race. You have to be ready to jump, to sometimes stumble, and to get right back up and keep running. Now, these hurdles, they basically fall into two big camps. First, you've got environmental barriers. These are the things outside of your control, like not being able to find funding or the right materials. Then, and honestly, these are often tougher, you have the personal barriers, the challenges that come from inside your own head. And yeah, when we talk about those internal battles, there's one that's like the final boss for so many people. Self-doubt. It's that nagging little voice that whispers, are you sure you can do this? What if you fail? Learning how to quiet that voice is a huge part of the journey. And here's another huge internal roadblock, not having a map. An idea is a fantastic start, but as this quote says, without a solid plan, a step-by-step guide on how you're going to get there, it's just a wish, it's just a daydream. So how in the world do you clear all these hurdles? Well, here's the secret. It's not always about having more money or better connections. The real secret weapon, the key to success, is your mindset. So let's look at the attitudes that forge a winning one. A really strong entrepreneurial mindset is built on these 5 core pillars. You need to be decisive, to be able to make those tough calls. You need initiative to get things going. You need people skills and organizational skills to lead and manage. And finally, you need perseverance to just keep going. Now, all 5 of these are absolutely critical, but if we're talking specifically about facing down those barriers we just mentioned, one of these attitudes stands tall above the rest. So let's zoom in on the most important one for overcoming hurdles, perseverance. The definition sounds so simple, right? The ability to keep going even when things are hard. But don't let that fool you.
This simple concept is the engine. It's what drives an entrepreneur through the failures that are, believe me, going to happen and pushes them towards success.
Let's make this real. Take Ravi's story from our source material. He tried selling city-style clothes in his village, and nobody bought them. A total failure. He absolutely could have just given up right there, but he didn't. He persevered. He actually learned from his customers, he adapted his product, and he eventually found huge success. That is perseverance in action. And this gets to the real heart of what perseverance is all about. It's not about stubbornly banging your head against a brick wall harder and harder. No, it's about learning from that failure, realizing the wall is there, and figuring out a smarter way around it. It's about intelligent effort, not just blind hard work. Okay, we've talked about the spark, the tools, the hurdles, and the mindset. So let's bring it all home. Let's talk about the most exciting part, the launch, your launch. If you only take one single thing away from our time together today, please let it be this. Entrepreneurship is not something you're born with. It's a set of skills and attitudes that can be learned, practiced, and developed over time. You are not born an entrepreneur. You become one. Look, everything you need to start this journey is already there. It's that idea you can't stop thinking about, combined with the vision and the strategy to make it real. The fuel for this rocket is your own passion, and the ignition switch? It's your courage to take that very first step. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Just look around you, in your community, at your job, in your own life. What's the problem? What's the inefficiency? What need is just sitting there waiting for you and your unique solution to come along and fix it? Your journey starts right now.